Hey everyone, and thank you for joining me on this episode of In the Trenches. Our guest today is a singer-songwriter whose song, Boys Back Home, is climbing the charts, and I mean rapid. I also had the pleasure of hanging out with him all summer long on the Dan and Shay tour. But before we get into the episode, I want to remind y'all, please like, share, and subscribe. So let's jump right now into it with Dylan Marlowe. My man is here. Thank you so much. I've been waiting for this for a while. I had the idea on the tour to have you on the podcast, and actually, I had an idea of recording some podcasts on the road. I did with Powers, just the one, just to sample it. Little did you know you were my prey for the second one.
Let's go. Let's go. I'm happy to be here.
So thank you for being here, man. And quite honestly, dude, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. I was kind of hoping you were gonna bring the crew. The whole I miss all of y'all. You know, with Screechby wheeling in.
Yeah, he's walking now, but
okay?
It's in the boot. Yeah.
Okay, so
he's getting along.
Oh man,
hobbling along.
You guys were such a fun. I'm talking about. We got to tour all summer.
Yeah.
With Dan and Shay.
Yeah.
I was of course with Jake Owen.
Yeah.
Man, what a special tour that was.
It was fun, dude.
It really was.
It was
for
a whole
me.
lot of fun.
I haven't done a full tour since probably Aldine in 2012.
Wow. Dang.
And to me, that was really fun. I actually, I told my wife something maybe a little different when Wednesday nights came. I gotta go to work, you know. But when I left the house, like I can see the boys.
I know, dude.
So anyway, I really did miss you guys. And before we get going, I wanted to show you. I did one of the nicest things anybody has ever done for me with this, just a gesture. You gave me a lot of us from Jake's camp personal letters.
Yeah.
And man, that's really cool. And it meant a lot to me. I instantly framed it and it's sitting right there.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I've never been a note guy really. But I don't know. I love sharing being on the road with y'all, and it's just like when I did my tour with Hardy, the first night of that tour, he wrote me a note, and it was like the nicest thing anybody said about me, and I was like, I love the way that felt, so I'm gonna start writing notes for people that we go on tour with, and it's genuine. It's absolutely
Jake and I were actually talking about that when we left that night of the last show. The last impression was you racing to get Jake a note before we caught a plane to come home. So anyway, thank you for that.
Yeah.
And then recently you had the album release for your fans, right?
Yeah.
That was a cool idea, man.
Yeah.
And I liked how you prepped it. Like, I'm gonna give you some time to marinate.
Yeah.
Listen to it.
1000%.
Know the songs and sing it back.
For sure. Yeah, I feel like everybody in the industry is so like one directional, and everybody does the same thing. They do this, they put an album out, they do a show the night it comes out for the industry who doesn't really give a crap.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the people involved do, but everybody else is just a social event, and I hate that.
Yeah, I know.
So, I told Sony, I was like, I want to do a record release show, but I don't want to do it the night it comes out. I want to give it like 2 or 3 weeks. I want to pay. It's going to be a free show. And I just want people like to just marinate in the record and come. And they did. And they came and sang every song on the record like it had been out for a year.
It was awesome. I actually had reminiscent memories. You really have created and are building a really loyal fan base. Yeah, it's very clear to see.
Good.
Is that something you take pride in? I mean,
I try. Yeah, definitely am proud of that. Because it's so important. Not to me, like everything now is so fragile. It feels like. Sure. I could nerd out about this for hours, but like, it's to have something stable to go. Okay, if the next song I put out doesn't go viral on TikTok, do I have people to come back and play shows to? Yes. Sure. Because my process isn't, and I've been in the room with some people that are like, well, I don't know if it'll blow up on TikTok. I don't care about that. And It's great when it happens. Like Boys Back Home had a moment, and that's great.
Yeah.
And I'm fortunate and blessed and lucky that happened. But I don't ever want my creative process to be like, oh, I'm gonna write for something to go viral. I want to write to the people, the original people that are getting on, and yeah, just it feels good to know like you can kind of get in the dumps on it, but you go play a show like that, and 1,300 people show up and they're singing the whole record, just like every song's the single.
Sure.
And so like, I don't know, I'm just super. Yeah, I'm proud.
Do you feel like that a lot of artists, newer artists coming up, maybe get lost in the algorithm or the people saying this is what's going to get you the things, but they're getting lost in that sauce that they're forgetting the essence of what they're
1,000%. And I mean, I'm guilty of it. Sometimes I've definitely been guilty of like trying to chase the next thing, but I really have to slow down. And I've never the funny thing about, I don't go like, this isn't like a bragging thing, but my creative process, like I have not seen one episode of Yellowstone. I've heard maybe one or two Zach Bryan songs. Not because they're bad or I think they're bad. I just don't like to go to like viral things because it gets this like, oh my God, okay, so this has gone viral. So all I have to do is get close to that, and that's going to go. I don't ever want to get in that mind space.
But that's really good to say, because I mean, didn't you kind of come from some of that viral?
Kind of.
I mean, I heard something. I don't even know if it's true. A producer was saying something about Lil Uzi Vert or something about a.
Yeah, that
I'm
was
like,
all,
I don't even know about that.
No, yeah.
But like, to me, it's, you grew up in, what states?
Yeah, Statesboro.
Statesboro. So it's a small town.
Yeah.
What was that like? I mean, kind of like was
great.
music your way out? Was that what you were destined to do?
No, I it was my way out, but it wasn't what I thought I was going to do. I was always like a baseball kid.
Okay.
And so travel ball every weekend. And I learned how to play guitar my senior year of high school.
Okay.
And then kind of just dove into Eric Church, and then from there on it was kind of over.
Okay.
But,
so Eric Church was the one.
Yeah, he's the one. Yeah. I always said, like, it's kind of a hard par that I put on myself, but I've always said my par is like, if Eric Church heard this, not would he cut it, because I don't want to have songs that he would cut, but like, what would he think? I don't know. Would he be like, oh, he definitely put some thought into this? Or would he be like, oh, this just sounds like everything else? So I want to like, not that he's like my idol or somebody that I fact check everything through, but it gave me a par because all of his songs are so good and all of his records. And he always has 2 or 3 songs that are more radio friendly and then 8 that aren't. And I love that. Yeah. So that's kind of like my process going into it.
Hey, and your process will honestly keep evolving, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to think that you've nailed it down. Yeah. Do you, I bet it would be pretty spectacular to be able to write your songs as a songwriter, right?
Yeah.
And then to like perform them, and then to have every fan singing every line.
Yeah.
Are you thinking of that possibly when you're writing the songs at all? Are these going to be anthemic, kind of like we talked about on tours, the pop punk elements?
I think melody sometimes, but I never go like, oh, I don't hear a crowd singing this. And I've been in rights where people are like, that's too many words for a crowd to sing. Like,
exactly.
Not really. If a crowd wants to sing something, they're going to sing it. You know what I mean? I think if you're going for radio testing and your goal is to have a radio number one, maybe there's a different thought process, but that's never been my goal. I just write. I love the melodic stuff from the pop punk. That's just what I grew up on, and I love the. I wish I could sing as high as some of those guys could, but yeah, I always just am a melody guy. If it moves me, if I can listen to it in the truck going down the road and some crappy speakers, and I still like it,
that's it.
Then I like that's my test that has to pass.
What were some of your favorite pop punk bands that you jammed in?
Dude, it's probably gonna sound like pretty surface level, but like, I mean, it was just all that I had was the CDs that my dad had. And so I see you have a Primus thing. They're not really pop punk, but I'll listen to a bunch of Primus with Dad. But like Blink-182, Good Charlotte, Bowling for Soup, like all the pretty mainstream ones, because I didn't really have. Yeah, like back then, you didn't really have like you do now a way to go find the like back end stuff, like the underground stuff. You kind of, at least for me, I didn't. because my mom wouldn't let me buy the CDs. Only my dad would. I remember buying my Meemaw. I talked her into taking me to Best Buy to buy the new Linkin Park CD, and it had the explicit thing, and so my mom found it in my bed and took it back. But yeah, a bunch of the mainstream stuff, just what I heard on the radio and what I heard in the truck with my dad.
Did you listen? Do you watch MTV or the videos?
Yeah, I did. Oh yeah, yeah.
Those were that was my heyday of well, I mean, it's also like kind of like a heyday of video making too. So,
that was the prime like time. I mean, you were in it. That's crazy.
I didn't know if that shaped any of your music influences, into some of your songs. Like I hear, Empty Handed is like straight up like, I feel like there's a lot of like Simple Plan, like I'll do anything, that song, like, the drop, boom, and then out again. Yeah. It's fun. I was going to say that earlier when I was at the show for the album release. I felt that. I felt the way even when I was trying to stand far back, man, people were full on getting down and shouting and singing.
That's awesome.
It was like I was at the front row of a Story of the Year show.
Hell yeah.
Those guys are pretty crazy dudes.
No, it's I've still never been to a pop punk show.
Really?
Yeah, never been.
Oh wow, yeah, we can change that.
I know. I want to go to one bad. I still have never. Once I got into music, I'm always playing the show, so I don't care to go to a show. But I would love to go to like a rock thing.
Hell yeah, dude. Sure. What is So you got a headlining tour coming up, man. So are you making any adjustments?
Oh yeah,
for that, what are some of those, like more amps or more sound or more visuals?
We actually switched to real amps on that Dan and Shay tour, which I loved because I could feel it.
Yeah.
And I think like the Helixes and like the Kempers are good for fly dates, like keep it real package. But I told the guys I wanted to go back because originally we made them go to Kempers, Dave. And now I'm like, hey Dave, I want you to go back to real amp because you can just feel it more. We're definitely. I'm gonna continue to run. I just run a Marshall amp. Dave, I don't know what he runs, but we're gonna keep the amps. We're adding a bunch of lights and changing the set list all around to go with the new record. And that I'd say when I'm writing a song, my number one goal is like, can I see myself playing this live and can I see a crowd getting really hyped to it?
Yeah.
So whether it's a hit or not, that's like my goal. So I'm pumped to finally have our set should just be 75 minutes of just like craziness. Like that's my goal. And then we'll play some of the slower stuff, but front to back, like I want it to just be I want it to be a rock show, but just with country music.
And then do you get to have your hand in who gets to open for you?
Oh yeah,
that's gotta be really fun, right?
Yeah, it's sick. Yeah, we're actually, I don't know when this will announce, but we just picked a dude for the tour. And it's funny because when you get into the political side of the industry, they're like, here's a list of people you should pick from. It's like, no, I want to pick who I want to bring in because this is my tour. And people like Hardy and Dylan Scott, like they picked me, and they could have picked anybody else. So I always want to handpick that. Like I don't want to do any favors for anybody or get caught in like, well, we did this for you, and like, no, if I like your music, if I can listen to it in my truck, then I want to hear it on the road.
Has there been an artist in town that that is more or less taking you under their wing? To show you the ropes and just kind of.
Yeah, I think Dylan Scott's like the main guy. Like he's like my older brother that I've never had.
I think I've heard that from someone else even too.
He's a great.
That says
dude.
A lot about him.
He's a great guy, dude. He's amazing. And for him to even hop on Boys Back Home when I had really nothing going on, I had maybe All About It out, and he hopped on it and continuing because it takes away a little bit from his. Side on radio because he's got his song on radio and my song with him on it, so it's a sacrifice, a little bit of a sacrifice, I think, for him to do that. So I appreciate him doing that. And I'm trying to buy some land, so I called him the other day about how he bought his and what to do there, and I've called him about do I want to have kids and stuff like that, and we have many great talks, and he's the best.
I think I saw something on the news about Dylan that he owns a dumpster business.
Yes. He started it during COVID. Yeah.
What a side gig.
And now it's just making tons of money. And he's not even doing
He's got like almost a whole East Tennessee. I'm not being specific, but a whole region of things. Yeah.
It's huge, man.
That says a lot about him.
He's a grinder.
Was that your first number one?
No, hopefully it will be.
Oh,
We're still climbing.
Okay.
I think we're at number 15.
that's amazing.
So hopefully we get there.
Oh, jeez, yeah, it will. It will.
Yeah, it's
How
doing
are
good.
you in the studio? Are you kind of like a bulldog? You know, do you kind of are you impatient through the creative process? I know
Yeah.
I am.
So Joe Fox, my producer, I don't know if y'all have ever met.
I don't think so.
You would love him. He's great. He's very great. And I'm pretty present in the process. And Joe is great because a lot of producers will be like, "Oh, okay, I like that idea," and then they'll go do what they want to do.
Mm-hmm.
But Joe, like, you know, for heaven's sake, there's a really cool drop in the last chorus. Like, there's always a drop in songs where you expect it,
Okay.
but I wanted it to be where you wouldn't expect it. So it's a really elongated thing, and that was my idea. And Joe took it and we took it to the band and like did this, and they even added something to it. So like, there's always stuff. I'm pretty involved. I'm a little impatient, yeah, because you got to give the band a few times to run through it. And on the second time, I'm like, hey, I don't like that. And Joe's like, they gotta just be patient, and we'll get there.
I'm that way too.
It's hard not to, though. I'm just so passionate about it.
Yeah, you see it so clearly
Oh,
yourself. It's about getting the others to get on board. And
yeah, I mean, I see it at night when I go to bed. I think about like the next few songs we're recording. Last night I was thinking, what can I do to make this song different on recording to like not just be a straight pass through country song? Like, how do we make it different?
Do you take your work home with you?
Oh yeah, I can't.
Me
can't
too.
not.
I take it in the pool. I'm thinking everywhere. I'm running. Most of the time I go running for that. Like on tour, I was running a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I process stuff. Is that?
I go hunting, sit in a deer stand and think about it.
It's a great place for that.
Yeah.
To do that.
A lot of quiet, a lot of peace. That's probably that's the most healthy place for me to be.
Absolutely.
Probably.
Do you keep a journal with you or something to kind of like? I love the story you said about Fence.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, like, okay, he was obviously doing something else, and you saw that. I'll let you tell the story.
Yeah.
But to hold on to that nugget of an idea, I wondered when you said it was, did he write it down? Does he have a journal full of these things, and then 2 months later or whatever you finish it?
I have a notepad in my phone.
Yeah, okay.
I want a journal because there's a lot of times like I wish I could look back 3 years and see what my thoughts were. So I'm gonna start. I have to keep telling myself.
Kind of goes back to the note you write. The reason you liked it, you felt good.
For sure.
You know, maybe it's a similar thing.
Yeah.
Could you tell that story? Were you hunting?
I was on the way to a duck hunt. Yeah, and I had never seen a tumbleweed before, and so my first time seeing it, I'm like, oh my god, like you just see them in movies.
Yeah.
I had never really been out that way, and it was just rolling. It was really windy. It was flying across this field, and then it just smoked a fence.
Bam.
Just stopped out and going however fast it was. It just stopped, and so I don't even think like it was one of those ideas where I was like, I'm never gonna write this. This is like a Western country corny idea, but I'm gonna just type it down. And then sure enough, we were on that writing retreat, and it's like you can write, and I could write this black cup down in my phone and think nothing of it, but then I'm having a certain experience and I think about it in a completely different way, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm glad I wrote that down. Half the ideas I write down are like, I'll never write this. And then I come to it a year later even, and I'm like, whoa, what? This is sick.
I'm guilty of not writing it down and it being gone.
Yeah. Well, you get so really overwhelmed in your thoughts too, because you start thinking one thing, and then you get overwhelmed, and then you don't even write it down. That's an issue I have a lot.
Yeah, where you're caught up in the moment of what you were doing.
Yeah.
You know, I particularly enjoyed the moment of how the title or the track of the Mid-20s Crisis came about.
Yeah.
In the line in the song, how you've what was it? You left Christ, but you're patching your way back.
Yeah.
You know, because you said, you couldn't really find the title of the song or the meaning, but it's a very vulnerable song.
Yeah, it's kind of tough. Yeah, it was just a really honest song. Yeah, I feel like I probably never truly left like faith and stuff. You have patches, and you like get further from God, and then you get closer, and obviously easier to get closer in the good times, harder to stay close in the tough times. But yeah, I wanted it to be special. Like you see so many records that come out now because there's so much stuff, and there's just 10 songs that they're trying to go to radio with one of them. They're just 10 shots. And I just totally took all of that out of whatever. But the thing I was missing was this, who, like, truly am I and what am I going through? And that's what I feel like records are. Like, good records are, like Eric Church's record, where the Carolina song, like, you could tell he's just missing home when he wrote that song. And, like, during that record, you can go back, like, oh, this time in his career, he was probably really just missing being in Carolina.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be cool in 10 years to go back and go, dang, like, look what I was going through. It's like a journal, but a lot more expensive journal.
Yeah. I do. I like how gentle it is, or how broken or honest you feel.
Yeah.
Giving, you're giving yourself in it. You absolutely sense that.
Yeah. I've never had a song like that. I wanted one. So yeah, thankfully that
you pledged to give praise.
Yeah.
Right. If
yeah, every time I just, so backstory, I guess, my buddy Cole has this grill called Master Built, and it was when I was trying to think of this title for 3 or 4 months for this record. The grill's called Master Built. It's like a charcoal pellet grill. It's like an insanely sick grill. I want to get one, but it's a very intricate design because with pellets, they just drop down, they burn, whatever. But charcoal, you have to, like, kind of regulate it more. So this dude couldn't get this idea down for this grill, but he wanted the charcoal flavor, but with the pellet grill ease. You just turn it on, it goes.
Okay.
But he couldn't he had been working on this design, I think he said, for 5 or 6 years. And finally, like, all this hustling, bustling, white knuckling, trying to figure out how to do it, he sat down. He's like, God, if you help me get the design right for this grill, I will name it after you. It will all be yours. And then literally a month later, he got the design down. So he called it Master Built. And so I was inspired by that. And I was like, okay, God, well, if you can help me find the title for this record, I will tell everybody about you every time I play this song. And I will glorify you the best I can. And just let people know, like, this wasn't done by just me. I'm just, yeah. So that's my deal that I got to hold up, and I'm happy with it.
Hell
so,
yeah.
It's a good deal.
That's a great deal. What was I gonna ask you? Oh yeah. Have you had any kind of embarrassing moments on stage?
Yeah. The last show with Dan Shay, the Denver show, I busted my ass.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was soaking wet. Went out there and fell. But it doesn't really embarrass me, I guess, too much.
Just putting it in. Do you ever forget any lines?
Yeah, every now and then.
Yeah,
like, I have songs like Last Night Lonely that I wrote for Party. Like, the first verse and the second verse are the same structure. And I see songs in shapes, oddly enough. Like, if I see, like, when I write a song, I see a color and the shape that I wrote it with. So, like, this is also weird. I don't write down any lyrics. Like, I just remember them. I don't know. I can't remember what Nat asked me to do 10 minutes ago.
Okay.
But if I write a song right now, I'm not going to write the lyrics down. I just remember it. Because it's weird. I don't know.
It's like some Jay-Z stuff right
maybe,
there.
yeah. But, like, the verses on that, I see 2 rectangles. Like, the first verse, second verse. There's no pre-chorus. There's no nothing. It's just 4 lines and 4 lines. And so if I start with the wrong first word, it's downhill. It's like we've integrated in our ears, like, on songs like that, like, this could be your last first drink. All I need to hear is that, and I'm good. So, like, I don't know. Now that we have those, I just hear it right before the song comes in, last first drink. Like, okay, bet, I got it.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
It's weird. I actually learned that from Hardy because he had me come out and do Red with him, and they had, like, and that one's kind of the same way. The first verse, second verse. If you start with the wrong word, you're going to sing the second verse. It's just the first word you need to know.
Okay. And then everything just clicks?
Yeah. And in his ears, I would have it, and it would say, like, the band's still doing the intro, but in the ears, it's going, Red, counting last stop sign, and then it stops there. Yeah. Okay. And then you're like, okay, I know where I'm singing. So we kind of integrated that.
I remember you on that tour. I did those 3 shows here in Nashville.
Oh, really?
That's where that photo was taken, day 3. But I remember I was trying to get with you. It didn't happen.
There was a whole lot of people.
It was a mess. Songwriting. Do you feel? Because I bet it's unique to be to sing, to come up with your songs and then to sing your songs, right? Obviously, I'm always asked a difficult question. It obviously, do you prefer directing or photo?
Yeah.
Okay, well, one kind of feeds the other.
Yeah, it's kind of
yin and yang.
Hard question. Yeah,
it is. But I mean, I would think that performing your songs is nothing like that.
No. Yeah.
So to just be a performer and not be a songwriter, I think there's more meaning to that, right?
Yeah,
for you?
maybe. Yeah, it'd be hard though for me to not write the songs.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Kind of when I moved to Nashville, I came from the rock world.
Yeah.
Right, and pop punk world, and that a lot of those guys, they write their songs, they do their thing. So it was new to me, the whole songwriting
for other people,
business and
1000%.
publishing and all of that world. I still don't know a lot.
It's crazy. I'm not against it because thankfully other people have cut my songs.
Absolutely.
Me personally, it's hard to tell my story through somebody else's lens. And there's also the occasion, like I'm sure a song's gonna come by that I didn't write that fits my story, and that's fine. I think that's where you have to switch to an artist and go, am I cutting the songs that tell my story? And if this song tells my story, it'd be dumb to deny it. Like Eric Church cut some of it, and he didn't write that, but he's written 99% of all of his songs.
Yeah.
But some of it, I guess he heard it and was like, oh, I didn't write this, but I'm going to cut it, which doesn't happen often. I haven't heard that song yet, probably because I'm getting pitched all the C and D list songs.
No, I doubt that.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm convinced though. I think I'm a very biased person. I think if you wrote a song and I wrote the same song, I would like it more because I wrote it. Like I'm a selfish, biased person. I think, but it's hard to tell because I'll never know. But like I wish I could hear some of the songs that I'm singing brought to me as if somebody else wrote them. Like what I still cut it. Like I don't know if that's a wall I need to let down more or if it's a wall I like up.
Well, is that I guess you're having your brand in mind, right? When you're thinking of it, does that fit, like you say, your story?
Yeah.
Same thing. Do you kind of know where your story is heading, or you just kind of living in the now?
Yeah, I think I'm just living right now. Like I don't have any I guess the only motive I have is just to keep putting out good songs. But yeah, I mean, I just want to let life take me where it takes me because I think that's how you get songs like Mid-20s Crisis. Like, on the next record, I might have a kid by then.
Sure.
Like, might have a kid song. Like, you just never
Absolutely.
know. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I just like to leave it open for discussion.
Is there a song on the album that surprised you? Maybe you didn't really have a lot of faith in it going in, or you were fumbling and it turned out to be something great.
I think Shop Radio was definitely one, like a sneaky thing that snuck up. I knew I wanted to put it on the record, but I was a little timid about it because everything else is like this pop punky stuff that I'm really digging into and really loving to do. Just what comes natural. Yeah. But then I started finding, as I started piecing like Hang It Up and The Fence, that it's kind of just this like hybrid of everything. Like I'm not saying it's like a country rock record, but it's cool because there's no box on it. Like you wouldn't really box it. I don't know how to box it in, which I think is sick. But that one surprised me. And then Deer on the Wall, I knew was a smash. Like I loved it. The demo, Zach Aubin did the demo, and there was a few changes that I wanted to make. So like I'm very like if I can hear the demo and like I want to change things, it makes me a little weird because you're basically investing all into this song. You haven't heard the final product. Okay. Versus like a good demo. Not that Zach's was bad. Sorry. Like a demo closer to the image, I think, that I'm saying. Not that it's a bad demo. Just a demo closer to the final product is easier to invest in because you're like, okay, I know it's a hit. Like, I know it sounds great. Deer on the Wall, like as I heard the demo that Zach did, which was great, but it's still great, by the way. I just kept hearing creative things I wanted to do to make it me. Like the that wasn't there. It just went straight into the chorus. And then the second verse, little steel guitar rise thing wasn't there in the demo, and we added that. And the guitar solo is completely different. And we took some of the lines out of the song and changed some of the second verse. So it had the most cosmetic work done to it. But it wasn't because it was bad. It was just because I just kept having different, falling asleep at night. I'm like, what if it had like a cool like going into the chord? Like, I don't know. Like, so that surprised me, I guess, in a good way that it turned out even better than I thought it would.
Where the other ones might have been a little more fluid.
Yeah, like heaven's sake.
You didn't have a reason to get into it in your brain while you're in bed. You know, I mean, again, you have to trust your instincts.
Yep.
You know, listen to yourself. Why am I hammering down on this? And for me, this photo. I mean, is it not it? It's not it. It's not it. You know what I mean? Or
1000%.
dig into it. Maybe it needs to be black and white. Maybe.
No, it's the same thing. Yeah, like heaven's sake came really easy. The demo. I got Joe to send me a demo with really loud guitars.
Okay.
And I was like, all right, it's good. We're good. Like I call it the Joe effect because he can take a demo and make it me. Like he's my secret weapon for sure. Like I have an image, but I couldn't do it without Joe. He sees things that I don't see. And every time it could sometimes feel like a grind in the studio or grind writing. But then when you come out on the other side, you're like, oh my God, it's perfect. Like, I'm so glad that Joe's, and Joe, like, to my knowledge, he was a track guy, but he didn't produce anybody like he does with me now.
Okay.
So I just picked him from the get-go, and he picked me, and now we're here, and it's sick.
And do you have, are the band the ones in the studio too, or are these session players?
Not my band, session players. Okay. I do eventually want to get my guys in.
Yeah.
Because I think as they learn the music,
a different feel.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think all the guys, like Dave's really creative, and John on bass, he's amazing. John already does a bunch of studio work. But I think now in this part of my career, time is like a lot of money when you're in there. So, you know, if we have to take a lot longer to do the same thing, it's kind of not as efficient. Yeah. But yeah.
What was it like working with the Duck Man? Riley Green on Stick to My Guns.
There wasn't too much collaboration stuff because I've been I didn't want to. I know he's so busy, so I didn't want to ask him for a whole lot.
Okay.
Like I wasn't. We didn't get any content. Me and Riley, which we were on this tour for 2 months. The last part, or gone for like the whole month, leading up. And I know he's busy, and I thought just the fact having him on there was sick. So he did the vocal with Joe while we were on the road.
Okay. I've always wondered like if like you're jazzed up waiting to get it back, and like you get it back, what happens if it's not it?
I don't know. Thankfully, that hasn't happened yet with like another feature. It's happened with my own. Like I hear a vocal that I'm pumped about, and I'm like, oh, that sounds like crap. Like I thought I sounded way better. I've definitely had that, and that sucks because you spend so much time on it, and then you go back and spend more time on it. But yeah, it was sick though. He's really nice for doing that, and he texts me. Every time I text him, he's like hits me back. He's a really nice guy.
Are you kind of a perfectionist, or do you embrace the imperfections? Because that's kind of what music can be cool when it's just a little bit more not so in the pocket.
I don't necessarily care about the pocket as much as I do like I want to feel things. Like I want you to feel it. Like I probably have, I mean, there's some songs I go to mix 12 or 13 on. Some songs I go to mix 3. Like Deer on the Wall, the third mix was perfect. The master, I didn't like the master as much as I did the third mix. The third mix was just perfect. Like sometimes I'm like, Joe, can we please not master this? And he's like, no, we have to.
Really?
But
because you want it to feel just real earthy and unpolished.
Yeah, like sometimes it'll put too much like compression stuff on it, which like can affect it a little more. But like yeah, if I don't have, I purposefully don't have a great system in my truck because if it sounds really good in my truck, then I know that it's gonna sound good anywhere. So I have a really crappy door speakers, really crappy tweeters, subs. I don't have any subs really. But if I know it feels good in my truck, if I can turn it all the way up and it feels great, I'm like, yeah, that's the mix.
There was countless sessions where these were like back in the LA days where I would be with artists shooting pictures and they would output a CD and go right out to these different cars.
Yeah.
And hear how it would sound. And that was quite common, to be honest with you, to hear it standardized to a crappy car stereo.
Yeah, because it's obviously going to sound great. And when people are filing into a concert over the PA on a playlist, and it's gonna sound great like on a boat with insane speakers, but like I have this thing where I can feel like whenever the guitars hit, if it makes me do that and it makes me like bob my head, then I'm pumped.
Yeah.
And like even Heaven's Sake, the first couple mixes did make me do that, and I was like, we need more guitars, and we need more just like air. We need more air being pushed. And then when we got to it, and I asked Joe and Jim, because Jim Cooley mixed it and he's great. I was like, y'all just send me a mix where you overdo it. Like just overdo it where you're like, this is too much. And it was the one.
Are you okay? So I'm getting some vibes here. Like me, even when I'm on set, talking to DPs or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't get in the weeds technically.
Mm-hmm.
In your case, the E is to this, or the bass. You know, it's like I'll say the light needs to be more morning, softer, just a little bit more glowier. You know, less high. You know, I speak it in more visual terms rather than raise the M80, push it back 2 feet, have a pitch, put a quarter silk in front. You know,
yeah.
Are you more of a feeling?
Yeah, I'm more feeling. Joe knows all. Like I can be like, this feels weird. And he's like, oh, it's because there's too much compression on the bass. He'll pull weird. It out. I'm like, I don't know. Do it and send it to me. And he does that, and it's like perfect.
So he just peaked the guitars, and there it was.
Yeah, we turned them all the way up. But that's what that song needs. It needs to feel just rocking. It's not gonna that song's not gonna make you cry. It's not gonna change your life. But I want you to feel it when you're going down the road and you roll the windows down. Like, but Mid-20s Crisis, like it's just me and an electric guitar. So I was a lot more anal on the vocal, which was funny because I only did 3 or 4 passes because I had to go straight to I wrote it on a Saturday, recorded it on a Sunday, and me and Nat had a trip to Alaska at like 5 p.m.
Yeah, but you didn't overthink it.
Exactly. And that's why I like demos a lot of time, because you're just
from the heart.
Dallas Davidson is the king of singing not give a crap demos.
Yeah.
Like Dallas could sit right here and sing you one pass, and it would be, I won't say them, but I've heard Dallas demos and the cuts don't even hold a candle. Because he's so good at not giving a crap purposefully. And I would tell him that if he was right here, and he knows it.
Yeah.
He's so good.
It's funny you say that, because even my oldest son, who's 11, when he's in the car and Empty-Handed comes on, it's instant.
Heck yeah.
It's that instant ugly guitar face.
Let's go.
Let's go.
That was so Johnny, Bill Murray, his guitar player Reese, he came to the right, and he's the one that does all the riffs and all that. And when they sent me I just sang 2 passes on the demo, and they ended up using that vocal for mine, because I was just scratching. I didn't know he was going to ask me to like feature on it. I was hoping he would. That's cool. But I didn't know if he was going to. And the demo sounds way different. They did so many different, like the adding God bless, like that thing, the Kevin James thing. Yeah, that wasn't originally there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think originally we wanted to do, what's the really sad Rascal Flatts song?
Something me.
I don't know. Maybe it was like Here Comes Goodbye or something. Yeah. He was gonna take the riff and just for being a menace, like take it. Obviously, give them credit for doing it, and then just make a heavy riff with it at the end of the song for no reason. And then he just sent me that one day. He's like, "What do you think about this?" And I was like, "Are you serious? Like, this is amazing."
It's rad.
He's just not giving a crap.
So you kind of like, folks go right, you go left.
Try to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I try to be like strategic about it, because I don't want to go so far left that you take away a whole audience.
Yeah.
I like playing into both, but yeah, that's why I like Eric Church, because he's got, like I said, the records where he's got these songs like Lightning, which is so good. And like Where She Told Me to Go, that was the first song I heard where I was like, oh my God. Dude. And
I'm done.
He goes really left when he wants to be, but it somehow works on radio too. So he's got this whole, and I'm not saying like I'm only worried about radio, but I definitely like, that's one of my goals, is to have a long radio career, as long as that'll go. And, but also have fans that know like, okay, he's not just a center down the middle radio dude. Like, we can really get into this stuff over here.
Yeah.
So
how did you, with that in mind, how did you come into, to meet up with Dallas? Because he's Dallas Davidson is a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah.
And, on the golf course too, Dallas.
Yeah, it's
we'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah, that was amazing. He I don't know. I guess I got to town. There was a guy named Trey Landon who was from my hometown who we were buddies, and he helped me out tremendously because like he was the first dude I saw that was like doing it up here, and he was like, and he's amazing. He's great, and that was my like, oh, he's making something happen. Like maybe I can go up there and make something happen. And he was with Dallas for a while, and so that's how I met Dallas. And so Dallas ended up signing me to a deal and to a publishing deal, taking a chance. And I don't know. It's funny because Dallas has the formula. Like he has so many hits, and they're amazing. But when we go into a room, the first few times we wrote, it didn't really work that well, I think. And I'm saying what he would tell you probably, but I don't think we clashed. I think, he's just got that formula. And then as I started branching off into my career, he even told me, and it's funny hearing him tell other people, he says, just go and stay out of his way. But I think that's his way of saying like he lets me just go where I want to go. Like with You Did It Too. That was a real personal song too. And he has the country language. Like we grew up the same way. So I love writing with Dallas. Yeah. And the craziest thing about Dallas is like, I'll have a line that I'm stuck on for 30 minutes because I really want the line to work, but I know it's not going to, but I try to. After 10 minutes, Dallas is like, we just need to change the line. And I'm like attached to the line, but he'll change it and then it's way better.
That's wisdom right there. That's what I was saying back a while back. Maybe I said the studio, but maybe I should have said a writer. You're beating that thought in. You don't want to lose that thought. Yeah. I know it's gold, but it's not clicking. Yeah. He knows ditch it, move off, and let it grow again. Yeah. That's
perfect. Dallas is we don't write that much, but he's top 5 favorite people to write with because he's just so good. You know, and he just lets me go where I want to go, and he just follows me right along and helps me get where I want to go.
I heard a story that he cut a tree down on Bro.
Yeah.
For you or something to present your sign.
He did. Yeah.
That's dedication.
Yeah, he's a G, dude. He's done so many things like that other managers and publishers wouldn't do because of what the industry should do, like standard. Like he's given me such amazing deals in my publishing because he's a writer and he knows like, you know, I get more percentage here if I sing the song and write it. Like he's just such a homie and he doesn't care about the money. I mean, obviously everybody makes it and wants to be paid fair, but
he believes in you.
He's just there for the ride and he knows like it's gonna pay out one day. And genuinely just so thankful to Dallas for sure. But yeah, he definitely did that. He cut a tree down with a sawzall, not even like a saw, like a sawzall that you would cut like a pipe with. Yeah, went out there and cut it down.
He didn't have any is that like a?
Nah.
You have to have like permission, right? Yeah, Music Row. Those are kind of like precious trees.
Oh yeah, that tree ain't there no more.
And then we were in where were we? We were in
South Carolina.
South Carolina when we were golfing. Yeah. First tee.
Charlotte. Right? No. Charleston. Yeah.
First right out of the gates.
Broke his driver.
Wasn't he like? Didn't he say something to you or something like I was nervous because I always had a camera around or something?
Yeah. He was like, "Dadgummit." He's what'd he say? He kept messing up, and he was like, "Why is he filming me messing up? I'm terrible."
Oh, do you remember that? I felt really bad. When Shay was going for that 3-foot putt, it was like an $800 putt.
Oh yeah,
a 3-foot putt, and there was all this talking going on. So I thought there was time for me to go sit and get a good shot, and I didn't think that for a second maybe I was in the line of sight, and he missed a 3-foot putt. Oh.
It's fine. He can pay for it.
I felt like maybe I was the culprit of that one. But
no. It gets. There's a different kind of pressure when you put money on the line.
There is. You guys are betting some good. You have one hell of a swing.
I had a good one with Shay. It's funny because you play with Shay, you're just playing with house money. So it's always up and back. Him and Jake though, they went at it.
They went at it in Tahoe,
Yes.
and it got up to like some serious money.
Yeah.
And
yeah. Yeah. Them guys are crazy. I felt like the dude that couldn't keep up, but I was like, I'm just gonna try to be in the mix so I can like play.
That was me. I remember on that tour I was telling you I did with Aldine in 2012. I remember he and Luke was tour support for him at that.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
And we were in I don't know, South Palm Beach or somewhere where there was casinos.
Uh-huh.
And they were going to go to the casino after the show. I was like, yeah, I'll go with you guys. Let's go. I sit down at the table, like, drop $250.
Yeah.
I'm a big wig.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, they put down, I think it was like $20K.
Yeah, I bet.
Got up. I'm out.
Insane.
Can't play with them. Insane. So would you say now, are you a visual person?
Yeah.
Meaning, do you see the importance of your brand and the visual medium to your brand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Especially nowadays, more than ever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I definitely, yeah.
I see, because I was with you guys for the 2.5 months, and there was times where I was sitting with Powers, your guy, right? Your photographer and content shooter, and I would be like, I can tell from the middle of the tour when I kind of really started to sit with him to the end, I see a humongous change in the work he was doing, but also I enjoyed watching him take more authority in you because you're not concerned with that part right now.
Yeah.
But you will take that 2 minute, 3 minute, whatever,
Yeah.
And he's doing that now. And I thought that was really kind of cool.
He's the best, dude. Powers. He's the best. He's the man. He's stuck by my side for sure. I know he could probably be making a lot more money somewhere else, so I'm thankful he's hanging around.
Yeah. Do you feel social media kind of has a handle on the visuals, or do you believe in the music video?
I do.
Yeah.
I love it.
Or do you still believe in the art of it, and the importance of it, because you came from that era of the TRL?
Yeah, dude. I can still remember music videos, like where I saw them, what ones I saw, like how they go, because it's just, I don't know. I would totally rather just do music videos than TikTok, 1000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love filming music videos. I love getting to geek out on the ideas of them, and like the You See My music video, we had Nat as she was like dating another dude, and I was this other guy. It was really cool. Like it was.
Do you have your hand in the creative?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You like to come up with some ideas, and
yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah, I have a music video idea for every song on the record already, like in my phone.
Really?
Yeah, like not every song will probably get one, but if they did, I know what it would be.
Oh.
Yeah.
So when did that process take shape? Was that during the recording of it? And you had an idea when you're just kind of...
Yeah, some of the songs, like the day I write them, they're unique enough to where like I have the idea there. Like Shop Radio is about taking this girl to a shop where radio and dancing in the shop. So I see this like really dark silhouetted music video where two silhouettes are dancing by the shop radio, and the glow on the radio is like the only thing that's really lit up. But like, and then other songs like Heaven's Sake, and obviously Deer on the Wall has an easy story to track. Like, you got to hang a deer on the wall your wife doesn't want you to. So I see this whole really funny music video of you hanging like 100 deers on this wall, or deer on the wall, and your wife coming in and get really mad about it. Like, it could be hilarious. But then other ones I see, like as we're doing the recording process and I'm simmering and like marinating on the record before it comes out, like what else can I be doing? I start to think of like stuff like that.
That's cool.
So
do you enjoy photos at all?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love taking them, and I love when Powers takes them.
Yeah. That's good. Do you have a memorable moment from our tour? Something that kind of just rings in your mind? I have one.
I feel like I have a bunch. Lake Tahoe is obviously just like insane.
Yeah.
On that tour. The bike ride we did in Lake Tahoe was insane.
Yeah, you guys were riding on the edges, and you guys
it's
really
about as wide as this table.
Yeah, you took advantage of Tahoe, didn't you?
Yeah, we went everywhere. But like as far as on tour, probably just like getting to play golf with Shay and Jake a bunch, because I still do. I look up to Jake so much, like all the early stuff. One time I told him, I was like, yeah, we were listening to your record last night. He was like, why? Like, because it's good. And that's what I just like, what shaped a bunch of the stuff. And yeah, probably just one of the last. Okay, so when we left Lake Tahoe, we were on the way to Utah, maybe. Mm-hmm. One of my core memories was me and the whole band were up front, and we just turned on as many deep cuts as we could play, and as many like insane songs that we could find till like 5 a.m. The sun's coming up. We're driving through the mountains. It was really sick.
I remember, for me, I remember when the tour kind of opened up and everybody kind of started to meander into everybody's camps, was Jones Beach up in New Jersey.
Cup ball.
Yeah. That was the invention of the inception of cup ball.
That was insane.
That was a good time. Everybody was involved with that.
Everybody going crazy.
Was there a show that you remember particularly more than others with the fans? Do you see the West Coast versus the East Coast South? Do you see anything changing?
Oh well, I mean, the
with
South for us is good.
Yeah,
because I'm from Georgia,
of course.
But the South fans aren't as rowdy as like, shockingly, as like the other fans, because I think the South gets so much. What was I saying the other day? The one, I remember what outfit I had. It was the day I bought the one wheel. Maybe it was Portland, Oregon. That was shockingly insane. No.
Portland, Oregon?
What was the one? We played a city right above Portland, Oregon. I think. Bend, Oregon.
Yeah.
Oh, no, not that one, because that was like the outside.
Oh, it was the one...
Washington, maybe?
Mount Ridge or something Ridge.
Yes. Yeah. I think it was Washington.
Yeah.
This was right on the line. That one was really crazy for us. What else? Obviously Atlanta, because I'm from Georgia, was really crazy. But there was another one. Oh, man. Gosh. I can't think of it. We played so many on that tour. There was another one that was out west, though, that was just really sick for us.
Mm. Oh, God, do you remember Arizona?
Yeah, that was hot.
Dude, none of us have left the bus.
Yeah.
Oh, remember we did the one where we broke away from the Dan and Shay tour.
That was sick.
We did the House of Blues in Anaheim.
Yeah, that was lit.
That was a wild show.
Oh yeah. That was one of my favorite shows the whole tour.
I think so. Real compact.
Yeah.
Floor to ceiling.
Yep. I love it.
So this new tour, are you gonna have like good catering like you did on the Dan and Shay? You gonna raise it up?
Probably no. Probably not. We'll get there though. They're about 1,000 cap rooms, so a lot of those just say like, oh, there's a pizza shop next door that you get free pizza at or something.
What's it like moving up the ranks for you as like a performer when you're going from the beginnings, clubs, to sheds to amphitheaters, and now you're headlining show? What do you mean?
I'm excited, dude. Last year we did 300 cap rooms, 400 cap rooms, and sold all of them out except for like 2, which was Arkansas and Dallas, which were close. But feels cool. Like we just announced this tour, and then already way more people bought tickets to this tour than they did the last tour combined. So we moved up to like 1,000 cap rooms. The Georgia Theater, I'm pumped to play. We did it with Cole Swindell as like an opener, but to get to headline the Georgia Theater, it was like
that is cool,
pretty sick. So I'm pumped. The first taste of it was the other night, I guess.
Really?
That was our biggest headline show yet. 1,300 people.
Is that here?
Yeah, at the Cannery.
Really?
The release show, yeah. Biggest.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that was our biggest. I mean, we played festivals where we were the headliner,
sure,
but they were local. I mean, as far as like us putting on a show, me being the headliner to the show, having an opener, like that was the biggest one yet. So kind of like a foreshadowing, I think, of the tour. So
I'm excited for you, man.
it's gonna be sick.
Well, I'm thankful you took
Yeah.
a little time out from your busy
Yeah.
schedule.
Sorry, I was hard to wrangle down.
No, man. Look, you got a lot going on.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it, and I'm kind of thankful your hunt didn't go today.
Oh yeah, no, I'll be all right.
Thank you, my man.
Dude, thanks for having me, dude.
That was Brad.
Heck yeah.